before we get the interview going with Eric Rowe, I want to remind you guys about my sponsor, Speed King Signs out of Palmetto. If you want to have your design made into some signs or business cards, maybe you need a car wrap or some shirts, anything you need, call my guys at Speed King Signs at 941-722-SIGN. That is 941-722-SIGN. And call them and tell them that Ryan Hoppe sent you for a badass deal. All right, let's get this show going.
This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And from the Roula and Ryan Show on KRBE in Houston, Texas, producer Eric Rowe is on Hoppe Hour. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How are you doing today? You have a good one?
I am doing great, man. I'm pumped to get you on because I met you a few years ago at the Morning Show Boot Camp, and I don't think we talked the first year, but the second year we talked, and I remember you gave me some, I would say, harsh advice in the main lobby, but it was good harsh advice. It wasn't like get out of this business, but, dude, it was some honest advice that I will never forget.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be mean. The first year, I'm like, who is this kid? And then the second year, I'm like, all right, who is this kid again? I like I like your moxie. I like the way your attitude was about radio. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go. I talked to Fitz. You know Fitz, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you talked to Fitz. Him and I are really good buddies. And I'm like, let me go talk to Ryan. So I brought you over there because I just wanted to talk to you because, I'm a producer, co-host. I love my job, and I saw potential in you. But at that time, I'm like, I don't know if you're ready to be a host yet. And so I was trying to tell you, hey, here's what you could do. Go get a job. And that's why I was proud when you went to I won't name the show in Cleveland because I know it's a sore subject for you. But I'm like, get a job somewhere. If it's answering phones, if it's just doing anything for that show, work your way up.
Yeah.
Learn from these shows. I mean, there's one thing to learn from just like listening to because I've listened to your stuff. I know you're a big O&A fan and Jimmy and Howard fan. It's one thing to listen to those guys and idolize them, but then it's another thing to be in the game. It's a whole different story, and I'm proud of you, man. I think you've done that. I know some of my stuff might have been harsh, but it wasn't meant to be mean. I never said anything mean because...
Oh, no, it wasn't mean because I've seen it in radio, Eric, where there's exploitation and they like to make fun of people for ratings, and that's not what you guys do. Your advice was more just like, dude, if you want to make it in this business in 2016, you got to listen to me. So it was just honest advice. Like, that's what I liked about the boot camp, Eric, was everybody cares about each other, and even though some people might make more money than others and everyone's got an ego, it feels like one big family's coming together. You know what I mean?
I find that people are, no matter what they make, an asshole's an asshole. You can be a rich asshole or a poor asshole or a small market asshole, a big market asshole. Assholes are just assholes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's more to a person than money. That's one thing I've learned. Because I grew up in Illinois like you did. I grew up in that cold weather, never want to go back.
Oh, it's the worst.
And, it sucks. That's what I love about living in Houston and Texas. I didn't think I'd like Texas, but it's a wonderful, wonderful market for radio. Houston, Dallas, being there, and Austin's freaking unbelievable. Just like you with Florida, man. I mean, I think you're in a great area where you can go to different cities if you want. If you want to do a show in, Jacksonville or Orlando, Miami,
Fort Myers.
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of markets where you can work, as opposed to in Illinois, you're pretty much screwed. You got to go all the way down to like Bloomington, Illinois, or Peoria, and those are still not very big markets.
And those are the markets that voice track or syndicate shows, so you have no chance.
Yeah. When I was there, I went to Bloomington, Illinois. I worked at a station, WBNQ. 101.5, and I shit you not, this is back in 97. I graduated in 96 at Columbia College. It was 97. I left Chicago, stupid mistake, thinking I got to pay my dues. I don't know what I was thinking. Freaking idiot. I left Chicago. I was on, working with Steve Cochran and the morning shows there. And I said, you know what? I got to pay my dues, go there and see what happens. And I worked there like part-time. I worked Orkin Pest Control. That's my main job. And I worked there part-time, just showing up. And I had to sit down with the PD at the time. This is right when Stern's movie came out. And I shit you not, this guy is like, he wrote on a note card, WDOUBLE, and then BBE, and then INQUE. WBNQ. And he's making me say that in front of him like 10 times. WBNQ. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so stupid doing this. And then all of a sudden the Stern movie came out. I was like, holy shit, same exact things. These small-minded PDs are spending more time worrying about how you say call letters than content. And it just blew my mind. Yeah, they got a tough, I'll say PDs have a tough job now because they got to, answer to these, big wigs. They got to answer a lot of people. They got to cover their ass. I've known shows, a show in Dallas. They used to do a show, it was called Kramer and Twitch. Twitch does a morning show in Lexington, Kentucky. You might know him. He goes by a different name, I think. Maybe it's still Twitch. But they did a bit where they asked their boss, their PD, Dwayne Doherty, they asked him, hey, we're going to do a bit where we pretend that Britney Spears died in a car crash, which is stupid anyway. This is back in 2000 when that shock crap was around. And the guy said, yeah, go ahead, do it. I think that'd be great. It cost so much. I mean, they got notoriety. They got so famous from that, and then they got fired 2 days later. And the PD knew about it. He lied and said, oh, I didn't know they were going to do that. Covered his own ass. That's what I realized, man. CYA, man. Cover your ass.
Yeah. I learned that in radio, too, because when I worked in Cleveland, I went there having trust in everybody, and you just learn people's true personalities in that you have to be with someone a long time before you can trust them in this business. I trust maybe 5 people in this business.
And that's why you got to find, and I still stick to this, I think you need to find a good group of people to work with for the future. I mean, a one-man show could work, but I just think for you, I think it'd be good. Even if you're maybe you hire the guy to be the main guy that just starts the breaks and does the DJ stuff, and you come in with and rile the people up. You're the guy that gets the phones going. You're the guy that stirs the shit up, with your comments. Love you or hate you type thing. You just got to figure out what you want to focus on because there's so many possibilities for you, and that's. When I listen to you, I think you're getting better and better with your interviews. I'm really proud of you doing this stuff. Every day when you're doing so many damn interviews with everybody, that's only going to help you down the road.
I know it's very cliche for a radio person to say that they like Howard's interviews, but I'm really getting into Howard's interviews. Like I feel like you could do a radio class. Don't even go to a radio school. I did because I had to do something. But you can literally just listen to Howard, and his interviews are just Radio 101. They are absolutely flawless.
But the problem is these guys, it's like you watch these baseball players, and you see it's like they hit it. They can see the ball. They can tell if it's going to be a strike or a curve. A curve. They can tell what kind of pitch it is by the way the rotation of the ball. They can see it, and most of us can't see that. And when you hear Howard, you think, oh, my God, that's easy. I mean, not easy, but, like, oh, I could do that if I study it. And then you're in the game and you go, wait a minute. I get the celebrity, but they only want 6 minutes. I can't have him for 25 minutes. How the hell am I going to get him in here to, talk to him? I need 6 minutes just to warm up. No way. It's really tough nowadays. I mean, if you're Howard Stern, you're going to get – the only way you get on that show is if you give him an hour. Even you're on our show, we don't do many interviews because I just, for me, I like to focus on us. Maybe it's egotistical or I don't know. But to me, it's like I've had Tom Cruise on. I've interviewed him many times. And that's 6 minutes a week out of 20 hours of material. It's like you got to really – people might like that they have Tom Cruise on, but if that's all you got to hang your hat on is like a few interviews, you're fucked.
I think it's better that you guys don't do interviews because a lot of these interviews, especially for morning shows, they're like 6 minutes and it's just pre-asked things that you have to say, okay, what are you plugging? What are you doing? How's life? Bye. It's not really a real conversation.
If you get a chance, Google Roula and Ryan Britney Spears, and you'll see we got in a lot of shit a couple of years ago with her.
What happened?
And, they came on, and this was right before she was going to Vegas, and they're like, oh, she wants to promote her Vegas stuff, but then she won't talk about this. We're like, what the fuck are we going to talk about then? And we're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do what we want to do. We taped the interview, and then Special K on our show, he does, stunts and just, he's my right-hand guy for comedy, writer and stuff. He has a story where he's a gay guy, him and his boyfriend and then another friend, they were all at the show, see Britney Spears, and then something happened. And he didn't find out until 3 months later through his other friends. They all had the same problem. They had bad beer or something. They all shit their pants at the show and had to throw their underwear away.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are the chances of 3 people in that place having bad beer? And they never knew about it until 3 months later. So he told that story to her, and man, you'd think he told Brittany he wanted to lick her asshole or something. The guy jumped on the on the phone. Hey, what are you doing? No, they demanded that we apologize and not play this part. So we're like, screw you. We're not going to take it out. We ended up making a bigger deal out of it because the interview sucked. All her answers were like, yeah, well, yeah. And then Roula and Ryan, they asked good questions. It was basically 30 seconds. We ended up all of her answers.
Yeah.
All just shit. And we ended up just playing, I forget what we did. We played, I think, just her part, said yes, no, yes, yes, just to show people how dumb she was. And then all of a sudden, Brittany Army went after us, wanting to kill Ryan, wishing he was dead. And if you get a chance, just Google that. You'll see.
Oh, I just Googled it. It's like 7 pages on Google of all these blogs and all these Britney fans going, shock jocks, Roula and Ryan. Like, they're not even doing their research. That's what I love the most, Eric, is like whenever any show does anything and it's a bit controversial, these media reporters are so lazy. They just go, shock jock. It's like, no, not really.
Yep. And what I wish, in a way, we had like a union somehow. I mean, I know there's unions, but like for morning shows where we all go, like I know Bob Pittman from Clear Channel, iHeart, he's been trying to tell Hollywood, you want the best bang for your buck, you get your fucking stars, you get them on radio shows. They're going to get you the audience. Think about the people that are driving to work. Think about Elvis Duran, his audience he has. I mean, for us, we reach over 1.5 million a week, the station. Our show, over 1 million people a week for us. We're reaching. That's a lot. You look at Jimmy Fallon, he's reaching, maybe 5 or 6 million? And that's the whole United States. And a lot of those people are staying up late. They're probably, smoking weed and just, they don't give a shit about life. The people we're reaching are the ones that actually have jobs, have the income, the money to spend to go see movies on a weekend. And they treat radio like shit, and it really pisses me off. They all have to, go on TV. We have a local TV station. They have like one of those lame-ass, Great Day Houston type shows. Nice people, but it's an infomercial basically. They had remember the guy? You ever see Sideways with Paul Giamatti?
Yeah.
Thomas Hayden, that was his church, I think.
Yeah.
He was like Lowell and Wings from a long time ago, but he's from Texas, so he was going to come on our show in studio. And all of a sudden, the day before, they go, he can't make it in studio. He's going to go on Great Day Houston, which is a 9 o'clock show. Which who the hell's watching 9 o'clock on a Tuesday? And he can do a phoner from there. I'm like, fuck you. If you're in my city and you're on the phone, that's embarrassing. I can't have that. No, hell no. Screw him. And the movie that I forget whatever the movie was bombed. Made me feel good. At least it wasn't a big hit. But
dude,
that's the kind of respect we get in radio, man. And it really makes me mad.
But that's what I like about you guys is you're unconventional because a lot of top 40 morning shows seem very cliche and like they want to kiss the ass of these celebrities. But what I like about you is you're like, fine, you don't want to go on my show? Fuck you. Like, I really respect that, dude.
We don't need celebrities. I get bored with celebrities personally. I mean, I think Stern, you can't even touch what he does for interviews. He's just awesome at it. And he's got I think I could say time is the reason, but no, he could probably take 10 minutes, 6 minutes. Because he had to earn that, He didn't start out that way. Believe me, he had a hard time getting. That's how he had to have the whack pack and stuff because you couldn't get celebrities to come on. They were too scared. Now everybody knows. Hey, I'm gonna have to give a little bit, but it's it's gonna give me. It's worth it with 6 million people listening. They understand. And with our show, I love our show, man. The ratings came out. It was just freaking. It's been a great week. We just had our. Huge ratings. It's been a wonderful week. Last night we just did our Roula and Ryan Show, which if anyone listening to this, if you ever want to reach out, producereric@gmail.com. and I can show you how to do this. We sold it out, House of Blues, like over 2,000 seats. There's 1,800, well, there's like 1,500 seats in the stadium room only, so it was like 1,800 people. And we just performed on the stage, man. It was a variety show. We did bits from our show. We went out and taped bits and put up there like Conan O'Brien type stuff. We had Christine on our show. If you get a chance, go to our Roula and Ryan Facebook page. You'll see her outfit. You'll like that. It was a great thing. The fans were in love with it. You sponsor it, you make a lot of money, and if you do merchandise, you could really make a lot of cash for yourself. It's a great way to make money, brand yourself. I mean, and most shows start out at a comedy club. Find a comedy club, do it on a Wednesday or Thursday when they don't have an act, like a Wednesday. We did that because I had this whole idea. Nobody believed it, really, and I had to show them how to do it, the station, and then they saw it. They were like, holy shit, we can make money off this. And then we made a second one, and then this time we're like, screw it, let's go to House of Blues. Next, who knows, we could be, NRG Stadium where the Texans play. Who knows?
Dude.
People paid money. It wasn't free. There was like $60 a ticket, so it wasn't like it was, the upper level balcony was $19-20, but people were paying for VIP seats $60.
I feel like you guys have some of the most underrated fans in radio because that's unreal to sell out the House of Blues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in less than 2 days. That's what was crazy. I'm like, damn, we should have done like 2 or 3 shows. And that's what I think the brand. We've been around since 2000. I think sometimes we're the quiet show out there because we've been on top since 2003 in Houston. But we've sat with the Dickies when they owned Cumulus and talked about syndication and stuff. But it's like we're already in a huge market. Unless you can guarantee me, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, big cities, why would I want to waste my time going to those small cities? It's not for us. We're already in a big city. I don't want to water down the show because one thing I love about what Stern did is he said, screw it. You want my show? I'm not changing. This is how I do it. Take it or leave it. If I mention stuff about New York, which he will, that's what it is. You don't watch Modern Family and go, well, that show takes place in Los Angeles. I can't relate to it. It's like, no, you can still relate to the people. We're all human. That's my thing. And that's how you got to look at it. Everybody has everybody wants to be syndicated. Oh, it's going to be so great to be syndicated. I know so many guys have done it and they hated it. They're like, screw this, Eric. Stay in your market. Unless you're going to go Elvis Duran style, and he's got the machine behind him, then of course, then it's worth it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like syndication is hard because after Howard left, there were the replacements that tried to do it and it bombed, and it just showed that it's one of those things where very few people can do it. Harvey can do it. Elvis Duran can do it. Howard did it. I mean, it's very hard.
Harvey, I feel bad for the urban radio guys out there because all they have is syndication. Joyner, Smiley, Harvey, like maybe 2 other shows. It's like it's really hard to do an urban show local. It's really bullshit.
And you would think that's the one format that would do real well locally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. It'd be awesome. We have one here, Matt Hatta's show on the box, and he does really well. The guy does great for the community. He works the community. He's local. Takes on like the Breakfast Club out of New York, where they're everywhere. And, I like local, man. Local is just fun. I love to hear, I'm sure you're that way too when you listen to Mike in the morning. It's fun to hear what's going on in your city.
I like local too. I just want local to be unique. I don't need to know the traffic and the weather every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? I want to hear local news, what's going on in Tampa. I don't need to know that the Howard Franklin is shut down. I mean, we do traffic updates. That's fine, but it's not a part of the programming in the show. You know what I mean?
And that's why I don't think AM gets it, man. Like, I listen to these AM stations. Like, I grew up, like you did in Chicago, listening to, like, WLS and all that. And we own WLS, Cumulus, and it just, right when they get into a good conversation, 5 minutes in, they go, okay.
Yes!
Traffic. I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? Steve Dahl's up there. It's like it's a joke. You can't even hear a show. It's really annoying.
Isn't it sad?
Interrupted.
Because they have Brandmeier on there as well, and it's like when you have these outspoken legends, and this is just for radio overall. Like the Bone is like the one platform in America that's talk radio that doesn't have interruptions, and that's why I'm honored to work here. And that's what I like about your show too, is they let you guys talk. Like, it
Yeah.
sounds forced when they give you. What's up?
Yeah, we play 3 songs an hour, you know, and that's if we want to play less, we had to, we could, you know, if something's really going, you know. There's a gentleman named Kid Craddock. I don't know if you ever looked up Kid Craddock ever.
He's a legend.
But he's the man. I worked with him, and he was one of my good buddies. I could always trust him to give me good advice and stuff. And you learn a lot from these guys that have been through the wars and dealt with this stuff. And I will say, if anyone listen to this has never heard of Kid Craddock, look him up. I know that he's so good that his show is still number 1 in Dallas. It's called the Kid Craddock in the Morning Show, and he's been gone almost 2.5 years.
Yeah,
passed away 2 years ago. I mean, that's how strong he's built that brand in Dallas.
Kid Craddock seems like one of those guys where he was very cocky, but he cared about other people, because everyone from the Morning Show boot camp has nothing but wonderful things to say about the dude.
Yeah. Because he loves radio, he loves helping. Think about that. You're making $10 million a year, and you still get up every morning and you're jazzed and you want to help others out.
That shows true passion.
Yeah. When we got let go, we used to be at the mix station here. We started out at mix. It was really weird. We were all like early 20s, mid 20s, doing mix. How they see them, and we were smart though. I said, guys, just because we're at this station, it's not a soccer mom station to us. We're talking about sex. We're gonna be just what we want to be. People over 30 talk about sex. You don't need hey, we're playing tennis last night. I don't like that shit. To me, I don't like code words. Like, let's not insult people. Let's just be real and talk about it. If we have sex, I mean, obviously you're not going to be as graphic as you would be if there's a rock station. But that helped us because so many women were like, yeah, that's why I like you guys, man. You're real. You're talking about things. You're not dumbing it down. And I know some shows worry about, this kid's in the car. Well, I can't control that. I mean, turn the station if you have to. But I guarantee they'll turn back, But the quick story about Kid Craddock. After mix, we got let go. Ratings were good, but they wanted to bring the guy from the station we're at now, KRBE. They were friends. That's another story for another day. I can tell you that one. So they let us go. I went to Roula's family's restaurant. We were just sitting around having a beer. All of a sudden, my phone rang, and it was Kid Craddock. This was like 2 hours after we got fired. He knew. He knows everything. Like the Godfather. If something happens in the radio world, he knows. Eric, what can I do for you? Anything I can do, man. If you want to come here, work on the show, write, be part of it, you just let me know. And this is like in October. This is when the White Sox were going to the World Series. They're in the World Series against Houston. And I'm like, well, let's see what happens. And all of a sudden, January called. I'm like, you know what? I need a job. We have to sit out at least 6 months. So I went to Dallas. He put me up in a kick-ass place in the high-rise. My neighbor was Bill Parcells, the Hall of Famer, coach of the Cowboys at the time. And he was just it was just amazing. I worked with him. He took me to, he's got the awesome seats for the Mavericks game. We were just hanging out. He goes, Eric, put this IFB in and just talk to me through the show. If you hear something, tell me a joke or tell me information, tell me stuff. I'm like, holy shit, I am telling Kid Craddock jokes, and he is telling them to the world. It was freaking, and he yelled at me the first day. He goes, Eric, I didn't hear you much today. And I'm like, first of all, for my humor, I'm used to just reacting. You say something, Ryan, and I react to it on the radio. It's weird for me to react, tell you, and then you react. It's really strange to tell someone jokes. And he's pushing me. He's like, Eric, just keep telling me stuff. Give me ideas. Tell me stuff. And I'd give him an idea. He'd go in his room, have a cigarette. They'd play the song. He'd come back with a script of some goofy bit he'd do or something weird. I mean, the guy was just I miss him so much. I think radio misses him too.
Yeah, he just seems like a guy who loved every second of it, because I feel like a lot of people on radio, and I'm not talking about anybody overall, I'm just saying I feel like a lot of people on radio, when they get older, they lose passion for it. But it seems like Kid loved every second of it until he died,
Yeah. And the one thing is then he got syndicated into Houston at Mix. So at the station I was at, the one he helped me at, he came in years later, because this is kind of funny. Since we left, they've had 10 morning shows at Mix. Not 4, not 5. We're talking 10 in 10 years. We've, destroyed them all. And just, who knows what happened. But Kid came in there, and I remember I was kind of disappointed because he never told me. And then he was texting back and forth. He's like, Eric, I know I'm not going to win. I'm just trying to get a nut. I'm just trying to get something. I'm just trying to build so it helps me get bigger markets. But, we just talked that way, and I was cool with it. We're friends. But then I felt good because they had to let him go from the set. I don't want to see him let go because it's not like he lost his job, you know what I mean? It's not like he didn't have 20 other billion jobs, other stations to be on. But it felt good knowing that I beat my mentor. I beat the best. I felt like Hayden Christensen when he played Darth Vader before he became Darth Vader when he beat Obi-Wan. He knew he could take him type thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool to work with someone like that. And that's what boot camp. That's why I try to help you out, man, because that's what Kid would do. He would have done that for you. That's what people like BJ Shea does.
Brother Weeze.
Brother Weeze. Oh, Brother Weeze. What a guy. The stories he has.
Oh, he's a maniac.
I just love it. I mean, there's nobody like him, man. And I think it's a shame. I mean, I know that's where he wanted to be, but I would have loved to seen him go to big markets. You know what I mean? To see him take over Boston or New York or something, I think he would have done well. But he didn't have to. He was happy with where he was.
And what I love about him too is that he's proud that he helped give BJ Shea and Opie a break. Like, that's what I love about him too. Is he's not mad or envious of it. He's happy that Opie worked with him.
Yeah. If you and that's how you look at talented people. You look at their tree. Like, you look at what he did for those two unbelievable talents. Kid, you've done that. He John Jay and Rich. He started Rich, worked with them. Steve Harmon with Paul Castronova in Miami. Toucher and Rich. You ever listen to them at the Sports Hub? And
yeah.
Rich did some of his. I think that's where he did his best work, was being his sidekick for years with Kid Craddock. And that's a few of them. There's a few, like 3 or 4 other guys that do morning shows around the country because they worked with Kid. That's pretty cool. It's like a farm system, You get in there, he teaches you, and he's not afraid to hold you back. Man, there's some assholes out there that they want to keep you down,
Oh, my previous job, I was told I wasn't allowed to tweet at anybody in radio, and I was told I wasn't allowed to do anything else on the side, and I was 21 years old and naive. I'm not saying I'm old now, but I wasn't sure what to do. So basically, I was the butt of the jokes for 3 months, and I wasn't allowed to do anything on the side, which is why I love 102.5 The Bone, is because they've embraced me for who I am. Everyone's been great, and I can do the show on the side. So for once, I'm
cool.
me.
And they can, and it's all, I'm all for busting balls, I'm sure Mike busts your balls. I'm sure the guys bust your balls. You bust balls back. That's human nature, man. That's fun. It's when you get too mean, It's like when it's not fun anymore. It gets real personal and an agenda. It's like they had an agenda to use you and abuse you. They wanted you because they knew you'd bring some talent and some funny bits to them, but then they wanted to just get rid of you. So like, all right, we'll just use this guy for 3 or 4 months and get him the fuck out of here. Who cares if he has to get an apartment, uproot his life?
Isn't it sad how like radio brings out an ego where people become fake and they hide behind a microphone and it's basically a character?
Yeah, there's some really weird people out there or the ones that scare me are the ones that are just so quiet and introverted, and then they're on the radio and they're all, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna do this and that. It's like, really? And then they're dickheads to you on the radio. I've had a few guys attack me on the show, and then you meet them in real life and they're real nice. Oh, hi, how's it going? I'm just like, fuck you. Don't be a pussy. You're going to say that shit on the radio and say it's just a bit? Say it to my face.
Yeah, that's what I love too, is like things have been said about me since I left. Like it was a lateral move. Then they made fun of my speech when I interviewed Brother Weeze because I said 70 downloads. And they made fun of the way I said downloads. And it's like nothing was ever said to my face, which is why I respect the boot camp. Is like everybody there is the most genuine people in radio. Same thing with here in Tampa Bay. Like it feels good to be around people who are the same on air and off the air. I despise fake people,
I don't get that. In this day and age, I think we're on the radio too much and podcasts and social media that there's too much of us. How can you be that fake? The true self is going to come out. I think the old days you could do that, maybe the 80s and 90s radio, but you can't do that now because you're everywhere. And people can smell bullshit.
And then the whole thing of being a local celebrity is weird because it was flattering getting noticed there at bars, and I get noticed here occasionally, but it gets to people's heads. But it's like, you're not that much of a celebrity because you're just known within this radius of a city. But if you go to the next place over, no one knows who you are. I don't get how that gets to people's heads. That's what I find bizarre, is the whole local celebrity thing.
And it feels good. Like, I love when people like, oh, or I'll get emails. I saw you guys eating your family. I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, come bother me. Without you guys, I don't have a job.
Exactly.
Normal. I feel weird when people want, photos and autographs and stuff and that. And I'm like, for me? We were talking about that today. I was like, I wonder, like, even movie stars, like, how does Brad Pitt really feel? A lot of these guys, they don't want to sign autographs, I think, because they feel guilty because they think it. Think about it. They do a movie. You do, like, do it, and then it doesn't come out for a year and a half, 2 years later, so you kind of forget what you did. You really don't feel like you did it, and then all of a sudden you're a movie star. It's not like you're doing it every day, and you kind of feel cheap. You're kind of like, wait, you think I'm this great person when I did that like a year and a half ago, and I was going through so much. I'm changed now. You think that it's gotta feel awkward.
And what's weird too, Eric, is when people would recognize me in Cleveland, half the time they wouldn't come up. They would tell the show the next day. So I'm thinking, if I'm 1/1,000th, if I'm 1/10,000,000th of as famous as, let's say, Tom Cruise, can you imagine being Tom Cruise where everybody knows who you are and every second of the day you could be filmed? That's what I found eerie. I was like, if people are recognizing me at Target, I can't imagine being actually famous where you have to walk on eggshells,
And God forbid you got to just, scratch your nose or you're picking your nose.
And it's on TMZ.
Yeah, TMZ within 2 seconds. It's like, oh, my God, Tom Cruise, he's just like us. He picks his nose. Who the fuck cares?
I felt bad. There was this picture that was on one of the websites the other day, and it was Matthew Berry from Friends walking, and he looked hungover or he didn't shower. It looked like he was having a bad morning, and they were trying to have a whole discussion, one of the shows online, I think you know which one I'm talking about. They were trying to discuss what was going on in his day. I'm like, I think it's the fact that he knows pictures are being taken of him, and maybe it's not his day. That's what gets me mad, is when they speculate over nothing.
So what do you think, what's your plan here? What is your goals? Let's talk about you. Maybe I can help you out here. I'm going to give you some free advice. You can take it, leave it. Whatever. What is your goal in the next 2-3 years? You want to be hired full time by the phone?
I want to have the radio business be my one job. That's my goal.
Okay. So do you care if you have to move and go somewhere? I mean,
I've thought about it too. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to make it into business. I mean, I packed up everything from my room, moved to Cleveland, went separate ways in March, and then moved here in May. I mean, I love this city more than anything. I would love to make it here, and that's why I'm always grinding to make a name here. But I'm also thinking outside the box, and I've been meditating a lot lately, and it's like, I'm not lost, Eric, because I'm so happy to be working promotions here and how they've embraced me here. I'm just always doing this show, treating it like it's a show, because you never know what can happen,
Yep, that's how you got to think, man. I think you were talking to Zach.
Saying
last week. I was listening to that, and it's a great time right now, man. I mean, the opportunity for anybody out there with podcasts and just doing. I used to do shows. We play them on the air. It's so embarrassing. I used to do shows in my bedroom. I had a Radio Shack little thing and tape decks and stuff, and I do my character Rip and Roger. That was my sidekick. I had the echo machine. It'd be, hey, everybody, it's Rip and Roger. And I talk to myself kind of like Kevin Matthews in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we had these tapes. We'll play them once in a while, and I'll just bust my balls because I'll hear my dumb jokes, the cheesy shit from the 90s and stuff. And, but I didn't have a podcast. If I had, believe me, if we had this technology in the 90s, I'd be doing that. And it's a great chance for everybody. They keep saying, oh, the talent of radio it's so weak. And it could be, obviously, because they freaking cut every job there is to the bone. No pun intended with your place. I'm just saying, if they cut everything, but there's still so many people out there on YouTube channels and, YouTube stars that could be. Those people should be working in radio, but they cut the job, so they have to go somewhere else and be creative.
That's why I love Zach saying, is like, that dude is so hardworking, and he began at the age of 14, and Zach talks like he's 29 years old in radio. Like, that kid is legit.
He's a good guy, and I just, he's got a game plan. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to take over nights. Like for me, my game plan was to. I've seen articles. Like my small town newspaper in Ottawa, Illinois. I wanted to be a producer in Los Angeles, a radio producer, and I had that opportunity. I did it for a while at Star when we were unemployed. I did a couple tours. I worked with some great consultants, and they told me to come out there and help them out and stuff. And it's like I love producing, and that's the key too. When you're looking for a producer, you got to make sure you're looking for the right person that has your best interest. For me, I'm kind of like I feel like I'm a Secret Service. I would take a bullet for Roula and Ryan, and that's because it's not Roula and Ryan Show. It's Roula and Ryan and Eric Show. My name might not be on it, but we each have 33%, and we all, I pretty much create the content and that, and Roula trusts me. She goes, okay, Eric, let's do it. I'll come in the morning. I'll get everything planned. Bam. And then she knocks it out of the ballpark. I can create anything. I know these two can do it for me, and we'll do anything. And I worked with shows where it wasn't that way, and believe me, it's painful. You're doing what you love, but then you're working with people that just don't love it the way you love it. And that's why I want for you to have goals to say, all right, I need to find the right people that love radio as much as me, and put your ego back and say, you know what, maybe I'm not the host. Maybe I'm the co-host. Maybe I'm the executive producer of the show. And you get in there, and then nothing saying you can't be the host a few years later. But you can make really good money being the executive producer of a top-rated show in a top 20 market. So I don't want you to discount anything. I want you to be open to everything and anything. And I mean, you're doing promotions now, so obviously I think you're open to anything. I just don't want you to feel like it's all or nothing. I'm going to either just be the host.
Oh, I know that for sure, Eric. I mean, I took pubic hair to the face in Cleveland, so I was all in, but then I learned too.
I love the condom bit you guys did, where you were in a hotel room.
Oh, that's actually, it was cool when I was on the show because, like, I felt a part of the show, and it was like, okay, it's on there, it's with the show. But now that I'm getting legit in radio, so many people ask me, why is there a naked picture of you online? People actually think I'm in porn. And it's embarrassing, too, because that video has almost 100,000 views. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I embrace it because there's no reason to get mad over it. It's just annoying.
Do what you got to do. I ran in '94. I did the Undie 500 instead of the Indy 500 around Buckingham Fountain there in Chicago. In my underwear, I raced another intern or the producer, I forget what it was. We ran around that thing 500 times in my underwear, So we've all had to do stupid shit.
That's a little different, though. That's not exploitation. That's more fun. It wasn't you getting catfished,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, catfish. So they actually pulled that off on you. They didn't set up as a bit, like.
Yeah, it was a Google Voice number, and they had a thing where it was like every Thursday a girl would come in and guys would call in and hit on them, and it was like a dating game. And the girl gave me a lap dance, and I got to touch her boobs and motorboated her on air. Yeah, it was nice. It was really weird too because my parents were watching, so that was odd driving home. But yeah, and so she gave me a number, but it was the number that they told her to give me, so I got screwed.
That sucks. That blows. Was your dad still around?
Oh yeah. What's funny is it's not that funny. But what's weird is he saw me make it. He saw me join a show in a medium market, but he didn't get to see me do the real success. The last thing in radio he remembers is me getting catfished. He was proud of me for getting hired, but he was convinced that was me acting. So he never found out that, no, I was trying to get laid in a hotel and it didn't work.
Yeah, I lost my mom when I was going to be a senior in high school, and then I lost my dad when I was 25. So, and that was right because I was doing radio, and I left to work on the farm to help him out because he was dying. And here's a funny story. I'll tell you that. You want to know how I got back in the big game?
Yeah.
I graduated. I did that working thing I told you about. I worked at WBNQ. Came back to the farm, which is about 90 miles south of Chicago. He died, and I was in a tractor or something. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not a farmer. It's not my thing. I can't do this. And so I also worked at this button factory. Those buttons that say vote for me, Pedro buttons,
yeah,
president type stuff. I worked at a company called Badge a Minute. I had some weird jobs, man, which was great for the radio. I'd put these pins in the buttons. It's a really weird job. $10 an hour. I was making $300 a week. So instead of doing this machine, I would go call radio stations and stuff. And one time, something I ate, I got sick. I swear to God, this happened in the morning. I sneezed and I shit my pants at home. And I go, I can't go to work. I had to stay home. So I went to All Access. This is 1998 or something. And I saw there's a morning show in Dallas looking for a producer, the Bo and Jim show, to contact Tommy Kramer. He's a consultant. I called him. I sent my stuff, and I talked to him. And he just liked me for some reason. Long story short, they flew me into Dallas for 3 days to try out. I got the mayor on because they were doing a bet for the Dallas Stars in the playoffs, and I was wooing him. I was just, dude, I was like, I'm making $300 a week. I have a kid. I was married at the time to my first wife, and I was like, oh my God, I just want this job so bad. They hired me. I was driving back on the airport. I said, hey, when do you think you'll know? He goes, you know what? The job's yours. You want it right now? I'm like, well, how much does it pay? He's like, $30,000. I'm like, now I laugh. I'm like, I can't believe I left Illinois for $30,000 with a kid, a 1-year-old, and a wife. But at the time I was only making like $17,000 a year, doing something I hate. And all of a sudden, I just started crying on the plane, going, man, it had to be my dad. My dad had to do something there, So that's what I want for you, man. Your dad's watching you, and I'm not a religious person at all. But there's got to be something to this, man. You got somebody up there fighting for you somewhere. Whatever you believe in or whatever it is, he's there for you.
And I feel my passion through him just because we sound alike, we look alike, and he had jobs that he hated his whole life, but he loved working and he was passionate. So I kind of get the vibe whenever I'm talking on the air right now or I'm doing anything that I have his passion, but I know what I want to do,
Yeah, so I think that's just believe in that, stay positive. And I will tell you that I asked the guy when he hired me. I was there. It was 17 years ago. I said, "What was it? Was it that bit I came up with? That funny bit or that topic?" He goes, "No, Eric. The reason I hired you? Your character. You left radio, and I know you love it more than freaking life itself. But you left radio to go to your family and work on the farm, which you hated. But you did that for your family. You did that for your dad." That's character, and that's the kind of guy I want working on my radio show. And I went, holy shit, wow. It had nothing to do with radio, but everything to do with the way my character was with my family and my dad. And that's when I realized that's why I'll help anybody out there, because it's character, and that's what we have. There's no reason to be an asshole to anybody. And I'm friends with my competition. I go drinking with them all, as much as I can. Mahoney is a great guy. Dave's a good guy. But Mahoney, we talk more, and we're competition. But I don't think of it that way. I just think we're all just trying to survive out there, man. We're a dying medium in a way that people, I know, not nice to say that because we got what they say 93% of the U.S. people listen to the radio, but still, let's face it, radio is always going to be one step below a mime in the respect world of entertainment, and. I know I'm rambling. I apologize because I've been drinking, celebrating. But I just want to tell you, man, your dad is watching you. You just got to come up with a game plan where you want to see yourself and make it happen. And whatever I can do to do that, help you with that. And I think all the guys you interview would help you somehow. And don't be afraid to send them stuff and say, guys, if you're ever looking for somebody to be a sidekick, a producer, they're looking for good producers. There's not a lot of good producers out there, man, and I think you'd be unbelievable at it.
I think so, too. I would love to be a producer and then do the show on the side like I do now.
Yeah. And that's what they do. Believe me, they could sell it. They could put your podcast on there. They want the clicks. They want the hits. They want the social media stuff. They want the young guys in there. So I think this is the best time for you, man. We got Mumbles on our show. Mumbles started out as an intern. And you met Mumbles. I think you guys worked together at boot camp.
Mumbles is the man.
And he almost didn't get the job. Special K, I put him in charge of hiring interns. He hated him. He thought, this kid doesn't know our show. He didn't. It's a big, fat guy that mumbles. He's in the elevator leaving, and Ryan and I were in there. And usually the interns are excited to meet us, like, oh, my God, it's Roula and Ryan Show. It's Eric. Hey, I want to be on the show. I want to work. He had no fucking clue who we were. And I'm like, I love that. And he was all dressed up. It was so cute. You could tell he had like his JCPenney slacks on and a shirt that he probably wore once. And he got off the elevator and this is a short 7 floors. Get off the elevator. I go, Ryan, we got to hire this guy as an intern. We're going to call him Mumbles. Right there, I said it within 2 seconds. And I know he'll be radio gold. And we did stuff that kind of could be exploit, like how they were with you a little bit. But then I pulled back and I made him so lovable. He's noticed he's probably one of the most popular people on our station. People love Mumbles. They love it. He goes to the Grammys last week. He was hanging out with Joe Jonas, and they were just like drinking, getting fucked up together, smoking or doing stuff. They were hanging out. So I mean, it's pretty funny how life can take you, man. And that's why I want you to just be open to anything. And if you want to just be a host, that time will come. But I want you to be able to pay your bills too.
That's my plan. Is I want to be a host of a show someday and have my last name be a brand. But Eric, right now, what I'm looking at is seeing how big this show can get, but having radio be my one main job.
Yeah. Would you? How would you feel if you were third or fourth banana and you're making 6 figures a year and everyone knows who you are and you're still being creative?
I guess that could work because then I would do the show on the side. I just always want to do a show on the side. I always want to have this platform.
And anybody will give it to you. They'll give you that platform. But, I mean, if you want to, you can make money out there. There's money to be made for people that work hard, to be entertaining, and definitely you'd be entertaining on a show. I mean, I'd love to. I think, believe me, if I did my own show, you'd be one of the first people I'd call.
Hell yeah, dude. That means a lot, man.
Mumbles. Because I want work ethic, man. Don't worry about your voice. I mean, look at my voice. We make jokes. I always say I sound like Ray Romano meets Kermit the Frog.
I was about to say Kermit the Frog. I was about to say that.
Yeah, I always make jokes about that and stuff, And I always think of like Seinfeld because whenever he'd always be, what do you mean? I kind of do that on the radio sometimes, play it up a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's all about your character. And that's why, I mean, it does matter a little bit if you're like the host, and you're on a station that's music, and you're playing 3 or 4 songs. You still have to, the main guy should have a really good voice, they say, but it's not the end of the world. People look at like Brother Fred in Chicago. His voice is not that strong. I
like it though. I like Brother Fred's voice.
Exactly, but you know what I mean. When I say strong, I don't mean that as a slam. I mean that like typical. Like that deep, pukey DJ crap, which is great. And I like Fred a lot. Angie, they're great people. But that's what just shows you he's got great character. People, listen to a lot of shows out there. It's not like it was 15, 20 years ago where those guys with those golden pipes.
That's why I reach out to people on radios because there's such few jobs. I want all the different markets to know who I am and not just focus on one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. You got to hustle. You got to get out there. And have you tried? Have you looked at openings for shows? Have you talked to consultants?
I have not.
I'm going to give you some names here. These are guys that I respect. I've worked with them. They've I used to do a prep service, and I'd give them ideas and stuff. You can write this down. Tracy Johnson.
Okay.
Unbelievable talent. He started Jeff and Jer. He helped those guys become, millionaires in San Diego and Little Tommy. But Tracy Johnson, his website, if you ever have money, it's like $35 a month, but it's worth it to get his ideas and all of his unlimited knowledge. Randy Lane, he's the guru of. He helped Jimmy Kimmel in radio.
I get his emails; they're the best.
Yeah, Randy Lane's he doesn't like. You're always worried about consultants coming in and just cheering you a new asshole, and that's what we're all insecure. But with Randy Lane, he's like, we're not going to focus on the negative. Let's focus on the positive and really hammer the positive stuff, and that negative shit will fall off. That works to an extent. I mean, sometimes you do need to know what you're doing wrong. But Randy Lane is unbelievable. You go to their website, look at their stuff, talk to them, email them, reach out to them. Steve Reynolds, he's a great guy. Steve Reynolds. Go to All Access, look up these names. You'll see their articles in there, and you can read what their thoughts are. Those 3 guys are unbelievable. Tommy Kramer, he's the guy who gave me the start. He's got a lot of laser point. How can I explain his stuff? He's very good. I mean, he's some of the stuff I go, I don't know about anymore if it works, but you can see for yourself. You can look at it and go, yeah, that works. No, this doesn't work. But Tracy Johnson and Randy Lane and Steve Reynolds, there's a bunch of other great ones, but those are the guys I really look up to. And I think, and Angela Pirelli, she was amazing. She's the one. If it wasn't for her, Ryan Seacrest would not have a job. She was his boss at Star in L.A., and she's a great consultant as well. So those are just some names I think you should invest time in, because they know what jobs are out there. They know the morning show guys looking for people, and that's how you're going to get jobs. You know, who knows with these PDs, but those consultants, they know everything.
Before I let you go, where can people find your show? Because it's very good.
KRBE.com. We have the app, KRBE app. We have the podcast up there. We do a raw feed, which we do a podcast after the show, where we can curse, do whatever we want. Just have no headphones. We just tell some crazy stories on there and stuff. We have a lot of fun. So, producer Eric on Twitter. And you can just find us anywhere through social media. KRBE is probably the best, and you can find us through there. But, we just if you get a chance to listen to us 6 to 10. We don't play much music. It's mostly just us talking and with some fun bits and topics and just a lot of fun. Bunch of 5 people that have worked together a long time, man. Sometimes it sounds like Roula and Ryan hate each other, but believe me, life's too short to work 13 years together and hate each other.
That's what I'm saying. There's not enough time to be with people that hold you back, Yeah,
you can't do that. So, and that's another advice. If you do get a job, man, stay as we all have the same agent. We all have the same, years. We're not on different. We're all on the same front. We're kind of like the Friends cast. Stick together, and that'll help you guys in the future. Stuff I can teach you in the past, man. You just let me know. You call me whenever you have questions. And anybody, if they were listening to this and they have questions about radio, I am definitely available to talk to you guys.
Well, dude, keep up the good work, man. You're one of the nice and humble guys, but you will also talk shit, but in a good way, and speak the truth. So if anybody wants to go into radio like me, you're the guy to talk to because you're real.
And just let me know, man. I'll tell you. I'll tell it like it is.
Sounds good, man. Keep up the good work, Eric.
All right, buddy. God bless, man.
All right, bye.
Your dad's looking out. Your dad's looking down for you, man. He's always going to be there for you.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you, man.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.